There's a moment when everything you've worked for suddenly feels empty. Not wrong, not bad, just not yours anymore. The goals you chased, the relationships you built, the identity you spent years shaping, all of it still exists. But something inside you has changed, and you can't go back. Most people call this the existential void, and most people think it's the end of something. It's not. It's the space between who you were and who you're becoming. And what happens after that changes everything. You know, it usually starts really quietly. You wake up one day and realize the things that used to excite you don't anymore. The routines that gave you structure feel mechanical. The goals that motivated you feel distant, almost like they belong to someone else. And that version of yourself you've been performing, at work, in relationships, even in your own mind, suddenly feels too exhausting to maintain. And the strangest part? Nothing external changed. You didn't lose anything. You didn't fail. On paper, your life might even look better than ever. But internally, something shifted, and nobody prepared you for what it's like when meaning just stops landing. I know it can feel scary, because we spend our whole lives thinking we know who we are, what we want, where we're going. And when that suddenly gets foggy, we panic. But here's what I need you to understand. And I know this might sound strange at first. What you're feeling isn't a breakdown. It's your brain doing exactly what it needs to do. Let me explain. Your nervous system is wired to recognize patterns. It uses familiar narratives about who you are, what matters, where you're headed, to create a sense of safety. That's how we navigate the world without freaking out every second. We create internal stories, mental maps, and we follow them. But when those narratives start to dissolve, when the map no longer matches what you're feeling, your brain doesn't interpret that as growth. It interprets it as threat. That's why the void feels so uncomfortable. Not because there's something wrong with you, but because your internal reference points just disappeared. The anxiety you feel isn't about the future. It's about the absence of the familiar right now. Your brain is telling you, hey, the old map doesn't work anymore. I don't know where we are. And that activates your whole alarm system. But, and I need you to hear this, this isn't a malfunction. This is information. If this is making something click internally for you right now, it's not random. Stay with me. Because there's something a lot of people confuse, and I think it's important we separate this. What you're feeling isn't necessarily depression, and I know that might seem confusing because, well, it feels heavy, right? It feels empty, but there's a crucial difference. Depression takes energy. It makes everything feel heavy, numb, unreachable. You can't feel much of anything, or you only feel weight. The existential void, it doesn't take energy. It redirects it. You can still function. You can still work, socialize, get things done. But everything feels hollow. Like you're watching yourself go through the motions. Like you're an actor performing your own life. And you suddenly realized you're on stage. Depression needs treatment. And if you think you might be dealing with that, please seek professional help. But the void needs space. And I know you've probably already tried the usual fixes, new routines, mindset shifts, productivity hacks, maybe even therapy. And look, those things help. But they didn't touch this, did they? Because this isn't something to fix. It's something to move through. And here's the part nobody tells you, but I think you need to hear. The void isn't empty. I know it feels that way. I know the sensation is nothing. Like you fell into a hole and there's nothing at the bottom. But the truth is there's a lot happening. You just can't see it because it's happening at a level your conscious mind can't reach yet. Your brain is actively dismantling old beliefs, old motivations, old identities. And it's testing new ones. It's running invisible simulations. Does this still resonate? Does that still matter? Who am I without this story I've been telling myself for so long? It's like, you know when you're reorganizing an entire room? There's that chaotic moment in the middle of the process where everything's out of place, nothing makes sense, and you think, I never should have started this. But you can't stop halfway. You have to finish. That's what this is. You're in the middle of the reorganization. And it feels like chaos because it is chaos. But it's productive chaos. And a lot of people watching this right now are realizing for the first time, they're not alone in this. You're not. But there's a truth here that's uncomfortable, and most people resist it for a long time. I did too. So I'm going to be straight with you. The version of you that existed before this shift, it's gone. Not because you failed, not because you lost something, not because you did anything wrong, but because you outgrew it. And I know that hurts, because we hold on to old versions of ourselves, even when they don't fit anymore. We try to go back. We try to force the old motivations, the old goals, the old identity back, like we could just rewind and become who we were again. But you can't unknow what you now know. You can't unfeel what you now feel. Trying to go back creates more suffering than the void itself. The only direction is forward. And forward doesn't mean figure everything out immediately. It doesn't mean having a perfect plan or total clarity. Forward means just one thing. Stop fighting the transition. Because if you do that, if you give the void space, if you stop trying to rush it, fix it, or explain it all away, something unexpected starts to happen. New things begin to surface. Not dramatically, not like a revelation, but quietly, like plants growing after rain. You don't see it happening, but suddenly, they're there. You might start noticing different things catching your attention. Conversations that felt empty before suddenly have weight, or the opposite. Conversations you thought were important suddenly feel shallow. Old relationships either deepen in a surprising way or naturally start to drift apart. And neither feels wrong, just true. And there's something even more subtle. A quieter, steadier sense of self beginning to emerge. Not the performative version of you, not the version you think you should be, but something more essential. This doesn't happen on a timeline. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It happens in the background, while you're just living, observing, allowing. And if you've been feeling this shift for months, maybe years, and haven't found words for it until now, this is the space for that. You're not alone in this. So, how do you move through this? How do you navigate something that feels so undefined? Well, I'm not going to give you a 12-step plan, because it doesn't work that way, and you're probably tired of trying to optimize your way out of something that can't be optimized. What actually helps is simpler than it sounds, but also harder. Observe without judgment. Notice what you're feeling without needing to label it as good or bad, progress or failure. Just notice. Oh, this is what I'm feeling right now. Without trying to fix it immediately. Reduce external noise. This isn't the time to consume content nonstop, to fill every second with stimulation. Give your mind space to reorganize. Silence isn't empty. It's where the processing happens. Move your body gently. Not to fix anything. Not to optimize or burn off anxiety, but to stay connected to yourself while everything internal shifts. A walk, some stretching, just conscious movement. And maybe most important, stop performing certainty. You don't need to have answers right now. You don't need to explain yourself to others or to yourself. I don't know is a perfectly valid answer, and honest. Trust the silence. The rebuilding is happening. You just can't see it yet. And that's okay. Take a deep breath. What you're going through is real. It's valid. And it's part of something bigger than you've been told. Because here's what nobody tells you about what comes after the void. The new version of you doesn't arrive all at once. There's no dramatic moment of revelation where everything lights up and you think, oh, now I get it all. It doesn't work like that. It builds slowly, quietly, in the small moments you don't even notice because they start to feel normal again. One day, and you won't even know exactly when, You'll realize you're making decisions differently, that you're drawn to different things, that certain conversations don't hold you anymore, and others suddenly make complete sense. You'll feel more aligned even if you can't explain exactly why. And it won't be because you fixed something. It'll be because you finally stopped fighting the process. The meaning you lost? It wasn't taken from you. It wasn't punishment. It wasn't failure. It dissolved because it wasn't yours anymore. Because you grew beyond it. And that's painful, but it's also beautiful. Because it means you're alive. That you're changing. That you're not stuck as who you were at 20, at 25, at 30. And what's emerging now? That's the real thing. That's the version of you that doesn't need external validation to feel solid. That doesn't need to perform to exist. You're not lost. You're just becoming. And I know this is a lot. I know you might be watching this in the middle of the night, or at a moment where you're feeling all of this at full force. And you clicked on this video because something in the title felt painfully familiar. So I want you to know something. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not doing this wrong. You're in the middle of one of the most important transitions a person can go through. And it's invisible, so nobody's applauding you. Nobody's giving you a medal. Nobody's tracking your progress. But it's happening. And it's real. And you're not alone in this. If this resonated with you, if you felt like someone finally put into words what you've been feeling but couldn't name, stay here. This channel exists exactly for this. For people going through silent internal shifts that nobody else sees. For those who realize something fundamental has changed and there's no going back. And if you know someone, a friend, a sibling, someone close, who's been quietly struggling with this same feeling, someone who seems fine on the outside but you know something's shifted inside, send this to them. Because sometimes just knowing there's a name for what you're feeling, just knowing other people have been through this and came out the other side, that changes everything. You're not lost. You're just becoming. And that's enough.